What's going on, YouTube family? It's Jay. I just came on here to just briefly talk about my YouTube journey so far, the problems I've encountered, some of the difficulties and trials and tribulations that I've seen going on this YouTube journey. And, just talk about some of the gear acquisitions that I got to start off my channel and some of the things that I've learned as far as getting new tech versus getting something a little bit older that can achieve some of the same goals, and probably get some of the newer tech later on. So far, I've posted 10 videos. This will be number 11 once this one gets posted. It has been somewhat frustrating. I guess my expectations are a little higher than they need to be. I know some people only have 3 or 4 videos and they've blown up quickly, but I think in the tech field it's a little difficult to break through in a sense, since there's so many people out there. But one thing I've learned is there's somebody for everybody. Everybody has their own different styles of how they create and how they explain things, and how they go about the post-production and things of that nature. But I feel like there's a place for me in the YouTube realm somewhere, and with the 13 subscribers I have so far, that has proven to me that, hey, I belong here. I'm not sure exactly what path is going to take me in, but 13 people are interested in what I have to say, which I really appreciate. I don't take that for granted at all. I know people could watch bigger YouTube channels that have 20,000+ subscribers, or even a couple of million, because that's where everybody wants to go. But there's somewhere for the little people with less than I'll say 5,000 subscribers or less. We're here. You just have to find us. And yeah, I think that eventually I will get to where I get a couple hundred followers. I mean, I'm happy with what I have, but I know that eventually subscribers will come, and that's one of the last things on my mind, because I rather just create content. So when I first started my channel, it was back in 2016, but I was just doing it for leisure stuff, not really for clicks or views or anything like that. I was just doing it to post a couple of videos for my friends to see, and I was just sharing it with them, and that was about it. Now when I got started being serious about it, I ended up getting the ZV-E10 as my first YouTube camera. Now I will say I do have a T3i and a G7X Mark II. The G7X Mark II is a great camera you can use for YouTube. Many people use it. Actually, I recently gave that one to my wife so she could start doing some videos and things of that nature for herself. The ZV-E10 is a great buy. I didn't buy it new, I bought it used. All of the gear that I currently have is used or refurbished in a sense. I feel like you get great value as long as you do your research first, and don't be afraid to jump in and get something used. So the ZV-10 was the first purchase I made for YouTube. Then I ended up getting the 16mm Sigma 1.4, which I'm using on the camera right now, and that lens is phenomenal. Believe the hype. It really is. And if you decide to get the Sigma Trio, which I have not, because I opted to get the 35mm 1.8 OSS instead of the 30mm, because I understand that the ZV-E10 has the gyro data inside, and you can use Catalyst Browse and Post, but I just feel like handheld wise, I think I get better value out of the 35mm instead of the 30mm from Sigma. That's not taking anything away from the Sigma. Like, I have a couple of Sigma lenses that I like, so I just felt for my purposes the OSS was a better route to go with, and I'll explain more about that in a minute. The next one I got was the tried and true 11mm 1.8 for vlogging. This lens is so wide, and you can use clear image zoom with this and still get great quality out of it. So as a beginner content creator, I definitely recommend getting this one along with the Sigma 16. Then I started doing A cam, B cam. So the A6700 had just came out, and I was really contemplating getting it because it had the new color science, the 422, the AI features in it, I was like, man, that's a great pickup to get. But then here comes the overheating issue. Now, I never had any overheating issues out of my ZVE10. So I was like, maybe I want to get the FX30, which I'll eventually get later on down the line. I may get it in a couple of months, or I might wait till next year to get it, because I live in a southern subtropical climate, and heat is a big deal down here, especially with the humidity. So if I'm out and about, I want to have a camera that, will stay cool and work under pressure. Now, I will say I will probably get the FX30 brand new. I don't think I'm gonna take my chances getting it used. That's just my preference on that camera in particular. But instead of getting the A6700, I also looked at the A7C because of the dynamic range and the low light capabilities of it. Not saying that the APS-C line of cameras can't do that, but I just felt like for, a full frame camera, just to get that, it will be a pretty big deal. So it was a toss up between the A7C and the FX30. Now with the announcement of the A7C2 and the A7CR, I don't know what the prices are going to be on those yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be over $2,000 for those two, because the A7C right now used market, I think pretty much new too, are around like $1,400-1,500, which is $200 less than the A6700 with the newer features. But I ended up looking around, looked at a lot of YouTube videos on this particular camera, and I decided to go with a A6400. The reason I went with the A6400 is because it has the same batteries as the ZVE10, so I can easily swap from one camera to the next, no problem there. It was weather sealed, which the ZVE10 is not, and then you could get lenses that are weather sealed that could help also keep the camera as dry as possible. So I ended up getting that used off of, I think it was KEH. I got it from KEH for just under $700, which was a pretty good deal for, excellent plus condition camera. It only had just over 5,000 clicks on it, which is pretty good for a used camera that's almost 5 years old. But after that, I said, okay, I got the kit lens, the 16-50. I got the Sigma 16mm. I have the Sony 35mm 1.8, the 11mm 1.8. I was like, I need to get a medium range zoom lens. So I kept looking, and everybody's talking about the 18-50mm 2.8 from Sigma. I looked at it and I was like, man, that might be a great compliment, and it's small and compact. So I ended up getting it, and it stays on the A6400. Now, I just want to show how small this lens is, because, even though it's, comes out like this, but putting it next to the 11mm 1.8, that's great to have, if you just want one all-around lens. I mean, you can go all around with this one and just keep this one on the camera too. But this one, to get the extra range with that, instead of using the, the kit lens, which I'm not gonna say it sucks. I mean, it has OSS in it, so in the pinch you could use this, and it's a little smaller. But at the same time, this Sigma lens here, it's a great buy. So if you're a beginner content creator and you want to get into like, street photography, or even use this for video, especially for B-roll, I say get this one. So you can't get gear acquisition syndrome and start buying things because you believe the hype of, what the bigger YouTubes are reviewing, because they get the first deals before it comes out on the, consumer market. But I would say, as a beginner content creator, get used stuff. It'll take you a long way. Another reason I started the channel was I wanted to get into video editing. So I used to use iMovie a lot. It was okay. Then I tried to go to Final Cut Pro, and it seemed a little too advanced for me, or it just wasn't user friendly enough. So I ended up using DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve for me has been great. There's a lot of things I still need to learn. I don't have the studio version, I have the free version of it, so I'm pretty sure there's some features in there that are exclusive to the studio version that would make things great. But it's a learning process, but I would say DaVinci Resolve is probably an easier platform to use for video editing. I'm trying to think anything else. Oh, another thing I like with YouTube, so I like looking at the bigger content creators that have the big following, but I also like to give the little channels a shout out too. I follow some channels that have less than 1,000 followers, and I think they make great content. I mean, I like giving love to people who give love to me. Yeah, I don't expect people to reply to every comment I put on YouTube, but I appreciate those bigger channels when they actually take the time to reply, because that shows they respect my opinion, and I do the same with them. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I'm happy to start this journey. I'm shy by nature, so this is kind of like something to help me break my shell on not expressing myself publicly. My creativity hopefully will shine during my YouTube journey, and I hope you guys stick around to like my channel, to support me. And like I said, I appreciate everyone that's even looked at my channel, even if you haven't subscribed to it. So I just thank you guys for sticking around with me this far, and I'll have definitely more great videos to come. I was actually supposed to go out today and do some cinematic shots, but the weather just came out of nowhere, so it's raining pretty bad here. Living in a subtropical climate, it's kind of expected that you're gonna get rain out of nowhere sometimes, when they said it was gonna be 0% chance of rain. So another reason why I started a YouTube channel is I like to help people when it comes to DIY projects or doing some things around the house, doing anything automotive wise. I've always showed people how I did stuff because my dad taught me the tricks of the trade, in a sense. I don't have to take my car to the car dealership every time I need my car serviced, or I don't have to pay somebody to come to my house and build something, unless it's just something that I don't feel comfortable with doing. I'd rather do it myself before letting somebody else do it for me, because I get the satisfaction that it's more worth it once I see the fruits of the labor that I did. Helping people, show them how, like my buddy of mine, he didn't know how to change oil in his car. I told him, next time you need your oil changed, go buy the stuff, go bring your jack, I'll show you how to do it. We got up under there, I told him the safety aspects of it. Hey, you jack the car up, but don't rely just on the jacks. Put jack stands under there, put a chock behind the wheel so it doesn't roll. Went through all of that, and to this day he changed his oil in his car. I like to do DIY projects. Like when we built our house a couple of years ago, there were some things that we wanted in the house, but they wanted to charge an arm and a leg for that. So I was like, man, I can probably do that myself. And I ended up building a mud bench for when we come in from the garage. It has cubbies and all of that. Our built-ins on the side of our fireplace, I ended up doing those, and cabinets in the bottom. Then I built a fireplace mantle that they wanted arm and leg for, and I put a nice design around the fireplace to complement it. So some of those things that are satisfying to me when I get to do things myself. Not saying that I'm a selfish person when it comes to stuff like that, but it just gives me a sense of pride that hey, I did that right there. Just seeing the subscribers I have, and seeing that they're getting some satisfaction out of my videos makes me whole, in a sense, because that makes me feel appreciated, that you guys really like my content. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I really want to reiterate that piece of it. It's kind of like I don't have that will to quit. For example, I went to college. I got an engineering degree, but I didn't go to college 5 years straight or 4 years straight to get my degree. There was some family things that happened in between, because death in the family and things of that nature. But I always told myself I will never quit my goal of finishing college and things of that nature. And that's how I feel about YouTube. It's like I started my channel, only have a small number of subscribers, but I'm not gonna quit because of that. It can be detrimental or frustrating to people that don't see the growth right away. Don't give up. It's coming, and I'm saying that you gotta claim it. You started it for a reason. You're gonna get the subscribers eventually, and just remember, I know some people have to subscribe to my channel that has never commented on anything. Just know that they're there because of you, and they're subscribing to you because they love what you do, and you have to reciprocate that to them, and always thank them for their time, and just being there. It's a great feeling. I don't want to leave that out at all. So if you're starting your channel and you don't see the growth and you think it's frustrating, trust me, it is. You're a human being. You're gonna feel that way, but don't quit. Keep going. Make a lot of videos, and just do it with a sense of pride that you're helping people out there in the YouTube universe. So hopefully that gets through to somebody. Don't be discouraged, and I love y'all, and I'll see you on another video. Peace.